Yeah. Shout out to my people. Let's get this show in, man. Hit that like button. Oh man, it's gonna be wonderful. Where my people at, man? Tap in. He said top of the morning, everybody. He said top of the morning, everyone. Did anyone see the Dusty Vision? Oh, I'm a roast Dusty Vision today. Oh, I'm getting ready to roast him. That's gonna be my second live stream today. I'm a cook Dusty Vision. Oh, I'm getting ready to cook his. Oh, you know what? Dusty Vision is one of the biggest bootlickers to the Latino community that I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm gonna do him bad. I'm gonna do Dusty Vision TV something real bad. hmm I'm gonna do him bad. uh-huh. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm gonna do Dusty Vision TV something real bad, man. Hit the like button. It is what it is. Yes, sir. Yep. Hit the like button, y'all. Yeah. Show some love. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. We're gonna talk about the history on this one, man. We're gonna take a deep dive. Yep. Hit the like button. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir. Hit that like button. It ain't nothing. So, like I said, man, let's get into this one, man. Shout out to my people. Shout out to my people. It is what it is. Yeah, man. Shout out to Dewan B. Dewan B did his thing with this one. Take this, dim this light just a little bit. Yeah, that's cool right there. So this conversation is gonna ruffle some feathers right here. Now, me personally, I don't really care about lowriders like that. You know, lowriders ain't never been my thing. It's never been my thing. Hit the like button. You already know. It is what it is. Shout out to Big E for being in the building. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Yes, sir. Hit the like button. Let's get it. Now, we already know when it comes to LA culture, foundational black Americans made LA popular. Those are the facts. And I'm gonna be real, you know, the Latinos gonna get mad at this, but it don't matter. We made LA popular through sports and entertainment. You know, we had the spotlight. So everybody wanted to come to Los Angeles because of black people, not because Mexicans. You know, that's the truth. Hit that like button. You already know. Yeah, we made Los Angeles crack, you know? Yeah, man, we made LA what it is, bro. I don't care about a low ride either. But black people, man, we made LA what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just a fact, bro. If you go back to the 80s and 90s, people came to LA because of black folks. We made LA popular through sports, music, entertainment. You know what I mean? Nobody cared about no Mexicans, man. Let's just be real. Listen, we got so much influence that you got Bloods and Crips all across the country. You got Bloods and Crips all across 50 states in the 80s. Mexicans are just starting to spread across the United States because of illegal immigration. You got so many of them crossing the border that they're spreading to other states. But we come from the South. We got people all across the country. So we spreaded this blood and encrypting, way back in the 80s. Listen, if you went to the South during the 80s, you didn't see no Mexicans, but you had Bloods and the Crips all across the US because of Los Angeles influence, you know? Yeah, that's just the truth. Show some love to the show, you know? Yeah. Let's get it.
Let's take it once at 1 p.m. Pacific time. My interview with Berta Bell, creator of the term Lord, going to premiere on my other channel, Incense and Ashtrays. That channel link is pinned at the description. I need y'all to click on that, subscribe to that channel, hit the notification bell, and for that channel, because we really documenting the culture over on Incense and Ashtrays. We really need to document the culture for Incense and Ashtray. And so that's what that channel is about. So what we about to do is I'm about to play this video real quick. This is from
His name was Charles Bell. His brother.
this is my interview, but this is the brother talking about. He's talking about Charles Bell, the person whose wife I've interviewed, and he's going through the history of the lowrider. Here's why I'm bringing this up. We're bringing this up actually before I watch it, before I show this, because I want to set it up a little bit more. Before I show this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a quick intro. Give me like 2 minutes, and we'll be right back. All right. For LA. I didn't grow up in San Diego. I didn't grow up in Oakland. And I'm not a lowrider. First off, I say I am not a lowrider. That's never been my thing. But I was born and raised in the environment of lowriders, and that was always part of my talk, part of my conversations with my dad. Hell, me and my dad was talking about lowriders just last week. I was like, well, so where did y'all go? Where did y'all hang out? He's like, man, we started off on Crenshaw and Imperial. Y'all know Crenshaw and Imperial if you're from LA. He said back in his day, they would start off at Crenshaw and Imperial. Then they go on down and be over off like Manchester and Broadway. And then they would skate through and go on up to the Rose Bowl. He said my dad's day, they for the most part hung out at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Where y'all see that Rose Bowl game. That was my dad's era of lowriding in the 70s. And Pasadena has a very big black, especially at the time, had a really, really big black population. That area around the Rose Bowl, big, beautiful homes on quarter acre lots. Nice, 3, 4, 5,000 square foot homes. That was a black neighborhood in the 70s. And there's still a lot of black people who live there today, but not like they used to. And they would all gather in the Rose Bowl parking lot. And I was like, man, so I talked to my dad a lot about this stuff. And the reason why we're having this conversation is because what we've been seeing is Latinos taking credit for being the originators of lowriders and lowriding culture. And it's not to say that they weren't in lowriding early on. They were in lowriding too, early on. Yes, they were. They had their lowriding culture. They did have their own lowriding culture. But the thing about LA is blacks and Latinos very segregated, especially back then.
Yeah, it was segregated. Like in the 70s, Mexicans didn't live around blacks, bro. They lived in East LA, Boyle Heights, places like that. They didn't start flooding Mexicans in black areas until like the 80s, maybe 90s. In the 80s, a little bit. Then in the 90s, it got way out of control. So many Mexicans and Latinos started crossing the border that they just started dumping them in our communities.
That's so since the 90s when bunches and bunches of them started coming over in the 90s, it became less segregated because they started coming into our neighborhoods and really flooding our neighborhoods out. Compton, Linwood, South Central, but back in the 70s, they were in East LA. And black people were in the Compton, Linwood, and they were up and down Alameda. And we didn't go over there. They were in Boyle Heights. You know what I mean? They were in those areas. They didn't come over to our side. We didn't go over to their side unless everyone had a friend or two. Like, that was the exception. Someone may have a friend or two.
Make sure that y'all bless the like button. It ain't nothing. Yeah, that's true. Mexicans was not in South Central like that, bro. They wasn't. If you speak to black people in the 70s, they'll tell you, man, we wasn't even around Mexicans like that to copy anything from them. We didn't live around them. They was way in East LA. You know what I mean? Later on in maybe the mid to late 80s, the 90s, that's when Mexicans started populating South Central because there was so many of them crossing the border. That's a fact. If you look at the Mexican population back then, it was way smaller than what it is now. If you go back to the 60s and 70s, it wasn't that many Mexicans in LA like that. Not like you see now. It's nowhere like you see it now.
Black/Latino, vice versa. But overall, we don't mingle, And when it comes to lowriders and lowrider cars, the lowriders that we see worldwide today, the culture that we see being imitated in Japan and all across the country, that's black lowrider culture. Make no mistake about it. The Chevy Impalas, when you see this, Latinos do that now because they grew up watching Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. You see them picking up this kind of stuff now that we do it. But when they were lowriding, they more so would have the big old boat cars like the Cubans. The Latino lowriding culture was a lot of these big old boat, dome hubcap style lowriding. And I should have had this prepared because some of this I'm about to show y'all is in the interview. And for those of you who stay around, my interview with Miss Berta Bell, the creator of the term lowrider.
That's true. Like when you look at the cars that Mexicans drove and the cars we drove, completely different. Our swagger was completely different from Mexicans. I mean, it's just the truth. We dress different. We talk different. The music that we made was different. Later on, Mexicans embraced our culture. This is why you've seen Mexicans riding around bumping oldies, listening to Marvin Gaye, listening to Al Green, listening to our oldies. You never seen black people riding around listening to mariachi or Mexican music? You've never seen black people riding around listening to their music, but they always listen to our music. So what does that tell you? We've influenced them, but they never influenced us. Music tells the whole story. Let me say that again for you people who are too slow. Make sure that you bless the like button when you step in here. Our music has always influenced them. If you go back to the 60s, you see Mexicans riding around bumping oldies, listening to our music. You never seen us riding around listening to Mexican music. Why? Because we've never been influenced by them. Music influences culture. What is culture? Language, the way you dress, the way you talk. Music influences culture. Anybody that's intelligent, anybody with half a brain knows that. Music has a major impact on culture. So we've always influenced the Mexican community through our music. Culture is the way you dress, the way you talk, your demeanor. All of that stuff is culture. The only thing that we ever rocked with from the Mexican community is their food. You know, we love Mexican food, but as far as dressing like them, talking like them, listening to their music, no. We'll eat Mexican food, but that's as far as it goes.
It's coming up over on Incense and Ashtrays, that channel. That interview link is in the description. That interview link is in the description. Let me see. I didn't take a lot of these. Let me see here. Let me show y'all some more pictures. I just have to airdrop them to myself. There we go. Come on now. This is Big Red Bell. Right.
Make sure that you guys bless the like button. Dewan B is going to break down some facts. Then he did an interview with this sister. Her name is in the title. He interviewed her, and she was telling you the difference between blacks and Mexicans and how we drove different cars, and it was just completely different. The Mexicans was driving their cars low to the ground. The blacks are the ones who put the side to side and all that stuff on it. Mexicans were just riding their cars low to the ground. And we're going to get into that in a second. Make sure that you bless the like button.
There we go. This is Big Red and his wife, Berta. She's who I interviewed. And she is the creator of the term lowrider. They were the original lowriders of LA, Big Red. And you're going to get that interview on Incense and Ashtrays in about an hour and a half. So make sure y'all click the link that's at the top, that's pinned. Make sure y'all click that link so that you can be a part of the interview. And if you look, this was Big Red's car right here. You see that Cadillac back there in the back? That's one of his lowriders from 1969, the Cadillac. You see the difference in style?
Right. Look, he's showing you right now the difference in style. Look at the Cadillacs we drove and the cars we drove compared to the cars they drove. It was different. This was 1969.
Big Red's car right here. You see that Cadillac back there and his wife, Berta. She's who I interviewed. And she is the creator of the term lowrider. They were the original.
She's going to prove that she's the creator of the term lowrider. And we're going to get into a lot of facts. Shout out to Dewan B. This is fair use. Make sure that you bless the like button. It ain't. Damn.
Trays in about an hour and a half. So make sure y'all click the link that's at the top, that's pinned. Make sure y'all click that link so that you can be a part of the interview. And if you look, this was Big Red's car right here. You see that Cadillac back there? That's one of his lowriders from 1969, the Cadillac. You see the difference in style? See? And when you listen to a lot of people talk about the first lowriders or of Latino descent, you'll get that when you Google. But when you go, this is how you do research. When you go and watch them talk about Latinos and lowriding, they're always going to get you, they're always going to point you to the 60s. Well, this article, as you can see, was from Thursday, May 30th, 1957. Big Red was up to no good, and they got caught. Well, Bell, they got caught stealing some parts. And as you see here, look at what it says here. A number of the men admitted they belonged to the lowriders. This is back in 1957. Although it's a story about them getting caught, taking some parts, they're showing you here in the paper that there was a car crew here in Los Angeles named the Lowriders. In the California Eagle, a car crew named the Lowriders. Right here. You see that?
We're going to bring receipts, man. Listen, we're not just talking, man. We're bringing receipts. He's showing you the articles. He's not just talking. He's not telling you what somebody told him. He's bringing the receipts from the people who were actually there. Now, this is going to ruffle some feathers, but we're going to get it. And to be honest, most of us don't even care about lowriders, but let's talk about the history of it, right? Since we're on the subject.
Latino descent, you'll get that when you Google. But when you go, this is how you do research. When you go and watch them talk about Latinos and lowriding, they're always going to get you, they're always going to point you to the 60s. Well, this article, as you can see, was from Thursday.
Tell Mexicans to bring their receipts up. We really don't care. They can bring any receipts they got, they can bring it. They can do videos and do whatever they want. What we're showing you is the cars we drove look completely different from the cars that Mexicans drove. We dress different, we talk different. Look at the music we made compared to the music they made. They was always influenced by our music. Music creates culture. The music that you hear on the radio dominates the culture. Black people never listen to Mexican music, but they always listen to our music. So that tells you where their influence comes from. That's only common sense. You seen Mexicans back in the 50s and 60s riding around listening to black oldies. You didn't see black people riding around listening to Mexican music. That's never happened. Still to this day, black people don't ride around listening to Mexican music, but Mexicans ride around listening to our music. And now they copy our music and mimic our music. They listened to our music for so long, it got to the point to where now they say we're going to start doing our own rap music, which is black culture. Music influences the culture. So it shows you who was influenced by who. They listened to our music. We never listened to theirs.
May 30th, 1957. Big Red was up to no good, and they got caught. Well, Bell, they got caught stealing some parts. And as you see here, look at what it says here. A number of the men admitted they belonged to the lowriders. This is back in 1957. Although it's a story about them getting caught, taking some parts, they're showing you here in the paper that there was a car crew here in Los Angeles named the Lowriders. And the California Eagle. A car crew named the Lowriders. Right here. You see that? I dare you to find any written information, any newspaper articles. Here it is again, if you want to see it clearly. A number of men, they belong to the Lowriders. Now, I implore you to find any written information on Latinos and lowriders.
What you don't understand, Coco Melon, is blacks are the original people on earth. There was no such thing as a Mexican prior to the 1500s. Mexicans are not the Aztecs people. They're not the Mayans. Those are different people. The Mexicans that you see today got a lot of Spaniard blood in them. Some Mexicans are like 50-something% European. The Mayans did not have Spaniard blood in them. Completely different people. You're not the Mayans. How could Mexicans call themselves the Mayans or the Aztecs when the Mayans and Aztecs did not have Spaniard blood? That's like foundational Black Americans saying we're the same as Africans. When our experience is completely different, our cultures are completely different. Blacks in America, listen, blacks in America got mixed with Europeans and natives. So our bloodline is different. This is why we look different. The Aztecs did not have Spanish conquistador blood. So if we're using common sense, these are not the same people. Once you get colonized and conquered, your bloodline is different. The Aztecs didn't speak Spanish. The Aztecs did not have Spanish blood. The Aztecs didn't have European blood in them. They did not. But I know Mexicans love Aztec culture so much, but the reality of it is those are different people, man. If you look up the Aztecs, these were dark-skinned, melanated people. Their bloodline was different. They looked completely different from the Mexicans you see today. So no, you're not an Aztec. Bloodlines are completely different.
Written in 1957. Now you'll find articles written in the 60s saying that they started in the late 60s, about 60.
We're not American Indians. We're foundational Black Americans. Now, if you look at the Black Seminoles, now I know you don't understand history. In Florida and South Carolina, you had the Black Seminoles. That tribe was a mixture of Blacks and Native Indians, right? And the Black Seminoles were going to war with the Europeans. They went to war with the Spanish. This is why Mexico wanted the Black Seminoles to come to Mexico to help them in their battle against Spain. Why? Because the Black Seminoles in Florida was going to war with the Spanish. Spain ruled, Spain ruled Florida at one point in time. The Spanish ruled Florida at one point in time. So a lot of those tribes were mixed. This is why they were called the Black Seminoles. Do your homework on the Black Seminoles. This was a native tribe of Black people. These were melanated Black people. But of course, you can't expect a Mexican to know what a Black Seminole is because they don't understand that part of the history. You had different native tribes all across the country. The native tribes on the East Coast, the native tribes down south were dark-skinned, melanated people. These were not red-skinned, pale Indians like the ones you see today. What you see today, these people are $5 Indians. They're not the original Indians, just like Mexicans are not the Aztecs. Completely different bloodline. But of course, they don't want to admit that. Aztecs did not have Spanish European blood.
68-69, used articles saying that they said that they've been low riding since the 40s and the 50s. But you're not going to find anything written about them and low riders and low riding in the 40s and the 50s. But you do find Miss Berta Bell, who we're interviewing in 1 hour over on this Cincinnati Trace. Make sure at the pinned where in the chat, make sure y'all click on that link, subscribe to that channel, and hit your notification bell.
Oh, we're not denying our African DNA. I did several videos. Yes, we do have African DNA, but we also have native DNA, because what you don't realize is a lot of natives on this land were black. Some of the original people of Mexico were melanated people. The word black is a social construct, so I can get rid of that name. Melanated people were all across the planet. The original people of Australia were melanated black people. We're the first people on planet Earth, so you're going to find us everywhere. But of course, you wouldn't know that because you've been lied to. We are the first blacks. We are the first people on planet Earth. We are the original people. See, listen. When you think like a Spanish conquistador, you start talking like some of these cats like you see in the comments. You start talking like Marvelous Inc. Marvelous Inc. is a Spanish conquistador who calls himself a Mexican. The majority of your bloodline comes from Europe. You're a Spanish conquistador. How you going to be a Spanish conquistador claiming to be an Aztec when the Aztecs had no Spanish conquistador blood at all? Those were different people.
Yeah. This is what you call research, primary research, not stats. Some Mogul May said, I noticed that they've always played funk music in the 60s and 60s rhythm blues to go along with black culture. That's right, Mogul Mays. They play our music. I'm going to get to that. Not at 86, I ain't seen you in a while. What's up?
Right. The Spanish explorers even tell you when they got to the Americas, they seen melanated black people. The Spanish people, this is scientifically proven. They'll tell you that they were black melanated people here when they pulled up to America. Spanish explorers will tell you that. The real ones who are honest about history, they will tell you. You already had black people here in the Americas prior to any Europeans setting foot in this country. That's the reality. Make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing.
We got the 100, and I don't know what denomination that is. I forgot. I don't know what denomination the SEK is, but I welcome it. Thank you.
Why you think Southsiders link up with white supremacists in prison? Because they got European blood. They got a lot of European blood. So the Southern California Mexicans formed an alliance with white supremacists. Now, if white people took over your land, conquered your people, why would you form an alliance with a group of white supremacists in prison? Oh, I get it. You wanted to use those white boys to go against blacks. You hated Southern California Mexicans hated blacks so much to the point to where they linked up with racist white supremacists. That's crazy. I'm going to link up with a racist white supremacist because I hate black people so much. I'm going to link up with my oppressor and form a loose alliance with them out of my hatred for blacks. But you know what they're going to say? Oh, man, that was just business. Okay. Well, when California took California, when America took Cali and Texas, it was just business. Stop crying about it. California was only Mexico for 27 years. California was only Mexico for 27 years. Mexico did nothing with California. When California was under Mexico rule, it was only for 27 years. They did nothing with it. If you look at the founders of Los Angeles, there was a lot of black melanated people who had a lot to do with the founding of Los Angeles. You ain't got to believe me. A matter of fact, I'll show you the video in a second. I'm going to give you receipts.
So let's take it one step further, because if you ever, in anthropology, in science, in the soft sciences and the hard sciences, but really.
And then what's ironic is this. That same white man that Southern California Mexicans formed a loose alliance with, these same white people are deporting them and sending them back to Mexico. These are the same people sending you back to Mexico, but you form a loose alliance with white supremacists. You hate black people that much that you will form an alliance with some white supremacists? I mean, that's crazy. Don't get mad at me. I'm just giving you the facts.
The soft sciences, the research, sociology, anthropology, those ologies. Whenever you're tracing a lineage or making a point or tracing a culture in cultural anthropology, you must generally have 3 to 5 points of reference. What is a point of reference? Food, it would be one point of reference. Music may be a point of reference. A movie may be a point of reference. A language, a word, the lineage of language may be a point of reference. Word of mouth may be a point of reference. And you want at least 3 to 5 points of reference. And you also want firsthand.
Well, the idiot is you, sir, because I didn't say anything that was true. Southern California Mexicans formed an alliance with white supremacists. Europeans colonized Mexico. Europeans conquered Mexico. But you form an alliance with the same people who conquered your people, who destroyed your civilizations. You form an alliance with them out of hatred for blacks. Because see, this is what it is. Southern California Mexicans said, we hate blacks. White supremacists hate blacks. Let's form an alliance against black people. Now they're going to tell you it was just business. Oh no, we didn't do that. We didn't do that out of the hatred of blacks. We did it for business. Why would you want to do business with white supremacists? A group of folks who conquered your people. Why would you want that? You don't see blacks forming no alliance with white supremacists. You can listen. I don't care what state you go to in America. You're not going to see black gangs forming an alliance with white supremacists. I don't care what state you go to in this country. You're not going to see that. But Southern California Mexicans, they did align themselves with white supremacists.
Versus primary sources and worst case secondary sources. You don't want too many secondary sources. you don't mind secondary sources, but like the Bible, for instance, is a secondary source. These people weren't around at the time that they wrote the stories about.
Now, in another 2 minutes, we're going to get into the interview with the black sister who broke down some of this history. She was there in the 50s, and she coined the word lowrider, and she's going to give you the receipts to prove it. Give me another 2 minutes. We're going to move over to that video because Dewan B interviewed this woman. She was around in the 50s.
Jesus Christ, but I'm not here to get on your religion or nothing like that. Born and raised in church. You know, if you sit in church, that's cool with me. I ain't got no issues with that. But we all know the Gospels and everything they were all written after. That's why there's so much argument that happens. That's why you see similar stuff.
Oh, we do have the numbers. There's a lot of majority black cities in this country. There's a lot of majority black cities in this country. A lot of them. Atlanta is majority black. Birmingham, Alabama, majority black. You know, you got Philadelphia, majority black. Detroit, majority black. Baltimore, majority black. St. Louis, majority black. Memphis, Tennessee, majority black. New Orleans, Louisiana, majority black. The list goes on and on. The black population in Chicago is like 30-something%. We got a large black population in Chicago. And the list goes on and on. I can name many more cities. So blacks are the majority in a lot of cities in this country. The thing is, California has become Mexico because of illegal immigration and open borders. That's why Cali became Mexico, because of illegal immigration and open borders and illegals crossing the border to have babies to get birthright citizenship.
Written in the Quran and the other texts, because you're dealing with things that are second and third, resources. A primary source is you were there. You weren't there. And Miss Berta Bell, she was there.
San Francisco was the biggest gay capital. The thing is, a lot of rainbow community people moved to Atlanta because there was a lot of people in office who catered to the rainbow community. But don't get it twisted for 1 second. San Francisco, California was once the capital of the rainbow community. Pretty soon they'll move it to another city. When people get in power in another city, the rainbow community is going to move there. Prior to Atlanta being known as a city with a lot of rainbow community members, San Francisco was the capital of rainbow community members, and it was white people. The majority of the rainbow community people in San Francisco were European white people.
And then when we get to the other types of sources and points of reference.
All right, let's go to Betty real quick. She's going to break some of this history down. Shout out to Dwan B. We're going to get it right now. Let's get it.
Yeah. You named lowriders.
Started lowriders.
Do you know what year? What's your name?
She gonna break some of this history down, so make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing. We finna give you guys some of this dope history.
And where are you from?
I'm Berta Bell of Los Angeles, California.
How long have you been in Los Angeles, California?
80 years.
80 years?
84.
84 years in Los Angeles, California. So you've been here since the 40s, correct?
Came from Louisiana when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
And I've been here ever since.
Okay.
So she been in LA like since the 40s, right? And they were big in the lowrider culture, her and her husband. So she's gonna break some of this stuff down. Check it.
And so say you've seen all of the changes LA has gone through, right?
Yes.
So when did you first started seeing lowriders and these modern cars? When did you first start noticing that?
My father had old cars. Mm-hmm. He had 38 Chevys, and we used to go to Pasadena and ride all the time.
It started with your father?
Yes.
Okay. Who was Charles Red Bell?
That's my husband.
Charles
Big Red. He was amazing. He had so many friends. He worked on a lot of people's cars. The original lowriders. He showed them how to fix their cars and work on them because they didn't know anything about it. Fixing on cars. And when we started on 53rd Street, all of them started coming by. And my mother-in-law, she let them all come in. She never turned anyone away. And she, very white, Johnny Guitar Watson, Jesse Belvin, Richard Berry, they all came from South Central.
So was that 53rd and Central, that area?
53rd and Ascot.
What years are we talking around?
Well, it really started in 53 when I met my husband. But they really started coming by when we was on 53rd Street.
Okay.
And so they all just started coming. My mother-in-law, she never turned anyone away, period. Because she had those two sons, she wanted them to not to be running up and down the street. So all his friends, they all came.
Blacks was in California way before the 1950s, bro. They came in larger numbers from the South. Blacks been in California way before the 1950s. Venice, California, if you go back to the early 1900s, that area was occupied with a lot of black people. Venice. See, at one particular time, blacks were allowed to live like in Watts, the east side. Then they had a city deep in West LA, Venice, where blacks was allowed. You can go back to the early 1900s. You had blacks in Venice, and there were no Mexicans in there in Venice around that time. They were just whites and black people. The Mexicans came to Venice later. You don't know nothing about that history, though. Black people came to California in larger numbers during the 50s and 60s. But don't get it twisted for 1 second. We've been in California way before that. You know, the thing is, during the migration, when people started leaving the South and going to other cities, moving to other regions of the country, that's when blacks came in bigger numbers. But don't get it twisted for 1 second. We was already in Cali prior to the 1950s. You know, people who don't know history, you know, a lot of people just don't know the history.
A lot of them stayed with us.
Does Mr. Bell, does he have a background in car and auto body, or did he have?
Shout out to Biddy Mason. You're right about that. Look at Biddy Mason. Biddy Mason was the largest black landowner in the 1890s. Look up Biddy Mason in the 1890s, the early 1900s. This is a black woman who owned a lot of land in Los Angeles. A lot of people don't know that because they don't know the history of their own city. If you ask Mexicans who's Biddy Mason, they don't know who that is because they don't understand black history. They don't understand that black people played a major role in funding Los Angeles. Well, the founders of Los Angeles, a lot of the founders of Los Angeles, a lot of the people who built Los Angeles in its early days were melanated black people. A lot of them were.
A background, or
It started off with bicycles.
Okay.
Then motorbikes to cars. And he showed the original lowriders that started with us how to fix their cars because they didn't know how. A lot of them were young. And he would get out there. He started fixing on the cars and stuff. And he told them, oh no, I'm gonna show y'all how to fix your own cars. And cars was lined up on 53rd Street.
Okay. Now, talk to me, were there any Mexicans or Latin Americans in the car riding crews?
The only Spanish guy, like I said, was my mother-in-law's boyfriend at the time.
Make sure that y'all bless the like button, man. This lady is giving you some real history. Let's get up to 400 plus people. Make sure that you bless the like button if you haven't already. Listen, this is 1955. She's talking about the 50s, not the 60s or the 70s. She's talking about blacks being in lowrider culture in the early 50s. Now, the 40s, a lot of that stuff wasn't documented. They talk about the 40s, but they don't have any articles or anything to prove it. A lot of this stuff came around like in the 50s as far as what was documented.
Him and his brother was in jukebox service.
Right. What was his name?
And he was on Albert Casadillas.
Albert Casadillas. So he was really the only one that you guys have around?
That's the only one.
Okay. And around what year was that?
That was like in.
Listen, I'm not tripping off of the trolls, man. Let the trolls troll. That ain't stopping. That ain't stopping nothing. You know, let people voice. If I want somebody blocked, I'll let y'all know. You know, but other than that, we're gonna have the conversation. Let's get it.
58.
Okay. Did Albert have his own lowrider?
Well, he mostly like worked in the on jukeboxes and stuff.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
But he was very close, and he was just over here 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At that time.
No, what she's saying is it was documented in the 50s. in the 40s, you can show me, you can't show me, and listen, show me articles where the word lowrider was actually documented, right? You're not going to find it. A lot of those articles didn't come out to the 50s, right? We're talking about what's documented. And to take it a step further, Mexicans and black people drove different cars. We didn't drive the same type of cars. Our styles were different. Everything was different. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to let this lady break everything down to you. I'm going to fall back and I'm not going to say nothing because guess what? I'm not into lowriders. Most young black people up today, we're not even into lowriders. We could care less. You know, we like luxury cars. You know, we get old school cars and put big rims on them. We put big beefy motors and big rims on old schools. Most of us ain't even trying to have no lowriders. You got a small percentage of black people who like lowriders, and the majority of them are in Cali. And a lot of the blacks that's in Cali, you know, you got a small percentage who do, but this generation, we don't care about lowriders. That's a thing of the past. I'm doing this video to give you some history because this is somebody who was there. She was there in the 40s and the 50s. She was around in the 40s and the 50s.
What was the racial makeup of the neighborhood? Was it
Well, he mostly like worked in the juke, you know, on jukeboxes and stuff.
okay?
You know, but he was very close, and he was just over here 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
At that time, what was the racial makeup of the neighborhood? Was it a mixture of people? Was it all black?
It was more older people. And when we come on the scene, we dissociate with them because they don't like us.
Right. He said Mexican President Shabam stated that there were black Aboriginal tribes in North America before the Spanish. Of course, there were black Aboriginal tribes in America before Spanish. A lot of people admitted that. The Spanish settlers, the Spanish explorers told you that there were black people here before they got here, before they came. The new school Mexicans don't want to admit that because they're conquistadors. You know, most of their bloodline comes from Spain. That's why they speak Spanish. So they don't want to admit that there were black Aboriginals on this land. They'll never admit that. Very few of them will ever admit that.
Anyway, because we were young. And we dissociate with them because they don't like us anyway, because we were young. And we had
Of the neighborhood, was it a mixture of people? Was it all black?
it was more older people. And when we come on the scene, we dissociate with them because they don't like us anyway, because we were young. And we had always a lot of people coming and stay. And we partied. We partied.
Back to the community. Was it an all black community at the time?
Yes. All black community.
Okay. So it was an all black community.
Yes.
Okay. Who came up with the term lowrider?
I did.
You came up with the term
I
lowrider.
came up with it. I defeated the term lowriders. I came up with the name.
So how did you come up with the name lowrider?
Okay. When I first met my husband, he was set real low. I thought he was short like me. But when he got out the car, he was tall, 6'4". So damn, he's tall. So we always rode around in the neighborhood and all over LA and Compton.
Black people didn't even live around East LA Chicanos. This is how you know this is foolish. Black people didn't live in East LA. If you go back to the 70s, there were no Mexicans in South Central like that. If you speak to black people who was around in the 70s and you ask them, did they go to school with Mexicans? Most of them will tell you no. They will tell you their communities were like 90-something% black. You didn't start seeing Mexicans in South Central in larger numbers until like the mid 80s, late 80s and 90s. But in the 70s, black people didn't even live around Mexicans in Los Angeles. We did not. Mexicans was in East LA, Boyle Heights, places like that. South Central was majority black. Compton was majority black. Watts, same thing. Black people didn't even live around Mexicans to copy anything from them around that time.
Pasadena. So this particular night, they all say, we got to name ourselves something. They come up with all city names. And no, we don't like that. No. I say, well, hold it. Wait a minute. I said, we're always riding instead of low. And that's how lowriders came. I said, yeah, we like it. We like it. That's what we're going to name ourselves. And we did.
You named yourself the Lowriders.
Started lowriders.
Do you know what year?
And that was in 1955.
That was in 1955.
55.
In Los Angeles, California.
Los Angeles, California. Right on 53rd Street in Ascot.
Right on 53rd and Ascot.
That's right.
Okay.
A lot of them stayed in the neighborhood. 4 of them stayed in Pasadena. Mm-hmm. That was Fields, known as Dr. Feelgood. Mm-hmm. Mo, that's his nickname. Big Banks and Little Banks, they were brothers.
Oh, they were all brothers?
They were the Bank brothers.
Okay.
Donald Banks.
Okay. And they stayed in Pasadena?
They stayed in Pasadena.
Okay.
Mo was an artist of the Lowriders.
Okay. Was this around the same time as the Slossons? And can you talk to us about
the Slossons, the businessmen, the Satan Saints.
And were these all gangs in
and
LA?
The Lowriders.
Were these considered at the time? Were they gangs or car crews?
We caravan. See, they don't know this. We made this up. We caravan. We didn't cruise.
Okay.
Okay, that's one that we start. We Lowriders started that. See, everybody say cruising. We wasn't cruising. We caravan.
Oh. Caravan mean a lot of people just in a.
Okay, caravan. The farmers, even the girls, they wore overalls.
The farmers wore overalls.
Andy wore overalls with a derby hat, black. Everybody was scared of him. Car club, car club this was the west side here. Over there where we was at, that was the east side. But they didn't change it to South Central now. And that was Satan Saints. Johnny Smalley.
Lowriders was around in the 40s, but what I'm saying is it wasn't documented like that until like the 50s and 60s. You know, like when I tell you guys about how blacks was breakdancing, I can show you videos. Things were documented. We were rapping and rhyming over beats in the 50s. You know what I mean? And this is documented. What we're saying is we know that Lowriders was around in the 40s, but it wasn't really documented like that. You know, you're not going to find articles about it being documented until like the 1950s. That's what we're saying. We know it was around in the 40s, but guess what? Those people were just riding low to the ground. They didn't have no hydraulics. The cars wasn't bouncing, going side to side, none of that. Black people were the ones who started putting side to side and switches and hydraulics on it. Mexicans was just riding with their cars low to the ground. That's a fact.
The Watusi brothers, they were real tall. Hooks, Jake, Vonnie, they were brothers. Jesse Clayton, Charles Montgomery.
And they were all members.
Those were the Satan Saints.
The Satan Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was a car club.
Black people made Zoot Suits popular. The jazz musicians who performed. Mexicans got Zoot Suits from us. All of the jazz musicians who performed in Los Angeles were black people, the Harlem Renaissance era. They came to Los Angeles, they performed. So We made zoot suits popular before Mexicans made it a part of their culture. Study the history of zoot suits, and you're going to see where Mexicans got zoot suits from. The jazz musicians, once again, it all goes back to music, because why? Music influenced culture. Music has a way of influencing culture. Hip hop influences culture. So back in those days, the jazz musicians who wore zoot suits influenced the culture. That's where Mexicans got the zoot suit from.
It was a car club.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And did they low ride their cars too?
The Harlem Renaissance era. These black people wore zoot suits. There were no Mexicans in New York. All the jazz musicians would perform in Los Angeles in the early 1900s, Central Avenue and many other places. The black jazz musicians are the ones who made the zoot suits popular.
They had lowrider cars too.
Okay. Okay. And did the Slausons and the businessmen, did they have lowriders also?
No.
No. Did they call their cars lowriders too, or what did they call
No.
them?
No. They wasn't lowriders.
What did they call their cars?
They didn't call their cars. They just say something.
Okay, it's the Saints. Okay. So now we get to the band War. Did you know War and the song Lowrider, the band made the group Lord? Can you talk to us about them?
Charles Miller. This is during the summertime, because at Testimony, this church over here across the street, our husband had all these old cars out there in the front, and he kept walking back and forth on Western by the church. And I said, what does he keep looking over here for? About 2 or 3 hours later, he walked over. He said, oh, I'm a lead order of War, Charles Miller. I said, oh, say, hold it, wait a minute, I got an album in here. And I brought it out. And he said, look, see, that's the thing. I said, it sure is. So him and my husband got to talking for about an hour or so. Then he said, oh, I have to go back over here across the street and get my bike. So he rode a bike back over here. And then I told my husband, I said, honey, I said, tell him you started the lowriders. And what did I say that for? He talked and talked. He didn't leave till the next morning. But in the meantime, I went back out there and I asked him, I said, are you sure you're going to come back? He said, oh, I promise I'm going to come back. So I come back in the house, because by me being a lady, they was out there drinking and stuff. I didn't want to, so I come back in the house. So my son, Charles Bell, Deontay Bell, and Pietro, they seen him. They kept looking out the window. They said, Daddy's still out there talking. So the next morning, he come in. And then 3 months later, here we hear the song War. My husband got mad. Oh, he got mad. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know what all he told him, but whatever it was, he didn't leave till the next morning. And I know when I went out there the second time, that's what they were talking about, lowriders.
Mm-hmm. And so just a few months after that conversation, the song Lowrider came out?
Came out.
Oh. Did you ever see them again?
No. He lied. He said he was going to come back, but he didn't.
Oh, okay. So now, basically, the song Lowrider comes out, and that's a term that you created, correct?
Yes.
And now the song is named after a word that you created.
I believe that he took those, what my husband told him, and made the song.
Oh, okay. Wow. What do you think about modern day lowriders?
Well, see, they have that. We didn't have that. Our cars was just dropped low.
They were called cutouts.
It was channel.
Channel.
when they lowered, my husband had a 57 Chevy. He got it brand new off the floor, and when he lowered it, that's what we call channel. Nobody else didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm telling you this is something that I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know that.
So he got it new off the lot and had it low.
And he had, yes, channel. That's George, the muffler man.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed, his shop was on Wilburton.
Mm-hmm.
And 118th and Wilburton.
Mm-hmm.
He put all the cars, put the pipes on them, put the straights on them, and the pipes was loud. Everybody knew about George, the muffler man.
The muffler man. Well, did you have special wheels for the cars, special rims, or did he stock up?
They most was most into hubcaps and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Speak to me? Was there a lowrider code? Was there like a code amongst the lowriders when you got together?
Oh, it was just, we always just had a whole bunch of people there, all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay. Did you post lowrider signs on the telephone poles?
Oh yeah, they had them on top of the houses, and police made them take it down. Mm-hmm. So they kind of arrested us on that part. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
How was it dealing with the police?
The only time we dealt with the police is when they came and lied. The neighbors across the street say we broke their windows, and we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The police, the whole story, and the reason why you guys were in the papers was because the police was harassing you, and you guys all went to jail.
No, wait a minute.
Shout out to Royalty, man. How come Royalty is the only one who blessed the Cash App? Where my people at, man? Before we started going live on this channel, we had more people blessing the Cash App. For some reason, a lot of you people who were supporting the show, I don't see y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? So we got almost 400 something people watching. Royalty shouldn't be the only one who blessed the Cash App. Let's get the support up, people. Because I bring you guys this information. A lot of these guys are just talking about gang banging and black on black violence. I'm bringing you history, real content. And guess what? I don't hide behind a fake profile. Put some love and respect on the channel. Put some love and respect on the show. Shout out to this black woman right here for breaking down a lot of this history. And guess what? She's not talking. She got documents and news articles to prove everything that she's saying.
The police.
The only time we dealt with the police is when they came and lied. The neighbors across the street say we broke their windows, and we didn't.
The police, the whole story, and the reason why you guys were in the papers was because the police was harassing you, and you guys all went to jail.
No, wait a minute. They didn't harass us. The reason why they came that particular night is because the neighbors across the street had gotten into it with each other. They broke the windows out, and the neighbors.
Let's set the record straight. Most black people don't even like lowriders. It's only a small percentage of black people who do. Everybody embraces and copies hip hop. If you look at the black youngsters in Los Angeles today, they don't want no lowrider. Most blacks under 50 don't even want a lowrider. I'm talking about blacks in Los Angeles. You got black people with old school cars with big rims with 24s on it. Old school whips with 24s on it. We don't care nothing about no lowriders. Lowriders does not influence black culture, but guess what? You got black people back in the 40s and 50s. Anyway, I'm going to let this woman break down that history. Make sure that you bless the like button.
The police, the whole story, the reason why you guys were in the papers was because the police was harassing you, and you guys all went to jail.
No, wait a minute. They didn't harass us. The reason why they came that particular night is because the neighbors across the street had gotten into it with each other. They broke the windows out, and the next day the landlord came. We didn't know him personally, but we knew he owned the building. And when he came out, he got on them about it. So what they did the next day, they called the police and said, we broke the windows out. So that's how it came in the police arresting us. Never had no problems until that day.
Did the police ever harass the lowriders when you were out there?
No.
Okay.
We went everywhere.
Okay. So you were able to go all throughout South Central?
We went all over.
Okay. Now let's go back. What was it like growing up in Compton in the 1950s? What was it like?
Oh, it was okay. It wasn't it wasn't a lot of crime or nothing.
So in the 50s, Compton didn't have much crime?
No. No much crime at all.
Do you remember what part of Compton, what street?
115th and Compton Avenue.
115th and Compton. And so you have a neighborhood of mostly black. Was it mostly black people in the neighborhood?
Mostly black.
And no crime or little crime?
No.
Okay. When did you notice Compton changing?
It had to be elected in the 70s.
In the 70s?
Yes.
Listen, you can look at black people all across the country. We're not driving lowriders. If you go to the South, we got old school vehicles with big rims. They call it donks. Old school cars with big rims on them. Most black people don't even care about lowriders like that. We're just talking about the history, giving you some historical facts. And she has newspaper articles to prove what she's saying. She ain't just making things up and saying things. When you ask these Latinos to show you one video of them doing breakdancing in the 1950s or the 1940s, they can't show you one video. They can't show you one article or one video. If you look at the music that they made prior to hip hop, that was mariachi and salsa. That had no urban influence. They believe that participating had something to do with creation. Absolutely not. Make sure that you guys bless that like button.
And what year again did all of this start? The lowrider crew?
Well, it really started in 53, but the name came in 55.
The name came in 55. Okay. And about how long were you out there lowriding? When did you stop?
Oh, we did it for about maybe 12 years strong.
Okay.
After that, everybody started having kids. I started having kids. So
yeah,
that's how that went. Well, we all kept close friends.
Okay.
Over the years, because everybody got married, a lot of them got a lot of kids and stuff.
So by the time, so you were basically done, would you say by the late 60s? Or did you go into the 70s?
It had to be in the 70s because Johnny Jr., KTYM, used to talk about the lowriders.
KTYM.
So that had to be in the 70s.
Was that a radio station?
Yeah. Can I interrupt? It was on West Boulevard, on the corner, KTYM. Now it's
KTYM.
It's
Johnny Jr., the road runner.
So people called and they made it a commercial?
People would call in. What happened? They called in a lot of times. Then he just started saying it.
Okay.
When he do his commercials, he would put the lowriders in there.
Okay, on KTYM.
With the names. First, started off with my husband, Big Red, Chino, Jose, and all the rest of the guys. And he also worked for Schaefer limousine service.
That was a job, a side job.
Talk to me about Barry White.
Barry White used to come over to the house and eat with us and stuff. He was a very good friend to my husband and my brother-in-law.
Okay. And what neighborhood was this? Was this by South Park?
We went to South Park. That was a spot there. Everybody went there.
Everybody went to South Park?
Partied. They had sports night on Tuesdays. Sit out there, just had fun.
What about, you said Johnny Guitar Watson?
He was a good friend of my husband.
Oh, yeah?
Really good friend. And Barry White.
And Barry White.
And Richard Berry.
Richard Berry. Oh, the dancer. You said Richard Berry?
Richard Berry is the one who wrote Louie Louie.
Yes, okay, Louie. Yes. That Richard Berry. First I was thinking about Fred.
Make sure that you guys bless the like button, man. We almost done with this. And yeah.
And Jesse Belvin sung Good Night, My Love.
Okay.
And Richard Berry played on that.
Okay. So you had these musicians around the lowrider culture regularly, right?
Oh, because they had a lot of nightclubs on Central. A lot. They would have jam sessions all the time. Different people come in. The nightclubs never closed.
Nightclubs never closed.
They didn't. They never closed.
Can you name any other celebrities that came around during that time?
Don Miller, he came. Him and then Judy Page came.
Gene Page?
Yeah. They came by. Because they had old cars and they were getting all the information from my husband. And he was telling them how to fix their cars and stuff.
Okay.
My husband hooked up with Bobby Womack. He had a friend named Harvette.
The chauffeur.
He was a chauffeur, Bobby Womack's private chauffeur.
Okay.
He the one introduced Bobby Womack to my husband. And then Bobby wanted him to fix his car and stuff. And he did.
Okay. How do you feel about the industry not giving you credit all these years? You've been here this whole time and you haven't gotten the credit you deserve. How does that make you feel?
I feel bad because I wanted to be known all over the world that we started the lowriders. There were no Angelinos, no Spanish people. They did not start the lowriders. So a lot of people know that my husband started the lowriders, but they don't want to come forward because they don't want the recognition for him. They were very jealous because when the lowriders started, everybody wanted to be in the lowriders, but we wouldn't put them in there because they didn't start with us.
So the original lowriders are the people who started together.
That's right.
And no new people really came in.
Very jealous.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad the story out for everybody to know about my husband, Big Red. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have any final words you wanted to say?
I just wanted to be known. But my husband get the recognition. Like they put this young lady in the Hall of Fame for lowriders. And when my husband started the lowriders, I don't understand why he's not in there.
Yeah.
In Black history. That's what I wanted to be.
Yes. To know that we started this.
For the young men that's coming up about the lowriders.
Shout out to the 1B, man. Shout out to the 1B for that content right there, man. You know? Yeah, man, it's just one of them things. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Let's go back to the 1B.
A primary source is you were there. You weren't there. And Miss Berta Bell, she was there. And then when we get to the other types of sources and points of reference, let's go to music. Go to any school, go to any old school lowrider playlist. Listen to the music. What kind of music do you hear when you hear lowriders? What kind of music is being played? If Latino culture created and was a primary source for lowriding, where is their music when it comes to lowriding?
You know who made the low rider is a mean rider? Low rider is a mean rider. Low rider wanna be higher. Low rider. Now, who made that? This was a group from Compton called War. Our music influenced the lowrider culture. And what did I say? Music influenced culture. You didn't see black people riding around listening to Mexican music. You seen Mexicans riding around listening to black music, because black people and our music has always influenced the culture. Yeah. Low rider is a mean rider. Low rider is a mean rider. Hey man, you can't get away from that FBA music. We got way too much influence.
I'll give you one song. I'll give you one lowrider song that's Latino, a lowrider classic. And I love this song too. By Malo. Suavecito. Come on now. That's a lowrider song, and that's from a Latin-based group called Malo.
Now, Malo, yeah, that was a lowrider song right there. And you got to get a shout out to them. It was a dope song. And some Mexicans, I believe they were Mexican or Latino, but that was a good song too. So I give them credit for that. But the majority of the music that people rode around listening to was music that came from us. But that right there was like one of a few exceptions to rules.
A song called Suavecito. I love that song too. But when you get past Suavecito, it's all our music. All of it. All of it. I just put up a lowrider.
The majority of the music for the lowrider scene was music created by us. That's a fact. With Suavecito, he was the exception to the rule. And shout out to him because that was a dope song.
He's mixed. Bloodstone, Black, Zap, Black, Otis Redding.
I've been loving you.
Black. Linda Jones, Hypnotize. Black. What y'all know about this? That they made that shit. Barbara Lewis, Black.
And how long has it been?
Seems like a mighty long time. Shoot-bop, doo-bop, baby, ooh. Seems like a mighty long time.
Seems like a mighty long time. Seems like a mighty long time. That's an FBA woman. Music that you can ride to and your low rider, you know, get on the scene with a gangster lean and ride out to that beautiful music, that good old beautiful music. You did.
See, black folks, this is why I give Latinos credit. I will give them credit for keeping that good shit alive. I bet
Sonny already made a video in response. So yeah, I think we might do a video and react to the video that Sonny made. Sonny said, when it comes to blacks getting reparations, tell them no. Nobody gets reparations, so the Mexicans get ours first, to say. When it comes to blacks getting reparations, tell them no. The raza needs to march. I'm talking heavy protests. Sonny said he gonna march and Sonny said he's gonna get the raza to march and protest against our reparations as foundational black Americans. The raza needs to march in heavy protests. Tell them no. Tell them no. Blacks don't deserve reparations. Tell them no.
most of you niggas ain't heard none of those. I ain't talking about people who are over 40. I'm pretty sure the people who are under 40, most of y'all ain't heard none of this shit. And that's a shame. Because it was so much great music we created back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. The Drifters.
Moving on down the line. Wonder.
That's all our music.
Tell them no. Boom, 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 boom.
It's all our music.
Woo, that was that. Hey man, that was smooth. Oh, that was smooth. That's that FBA music.
All the lowrider music is ours. You have an exception here and there. But the lowrider music is ours.
Yeah, Sonny made it. Sonny made a couple of videos. Blacks don't deserve reparations until the Mexicans get our first. Tell them no. The raza needs to march. I'm talking heavy protests. Tell them no. Blacks don't deserve reparations until the Mexicans get ours first. Essay. I'm like, all right, Sonny. All right, it's cool, Sonny. I don't want no. I don't want no smoke, Sonny. It's all good, Sonny. Tell them no. Tell them no.
Look at this. Let me see here. Old school lowrider funk.
I don't know.
One Way, they black. M2 they black. Okay. Brick, they black. I love that. That bass line. That bass line is crazy, ain't it? You mean to tell me?
See, I wish on YouTube they would let us play the music a little longer, but we don't want to get copyright, so you gotta tune the music out. But that music is dope. That is FBA music. The Mexicans who rode around in lowriders were listening to FBA music. 90% of that music that they rode around to in lowriders was created by FBA. We are the music. We are the trendsetters. We are the culture. Mexicans was just sitting low in their cars. Black people are the ones who did the side to side, front, back, side to side, yeah, front, back, side to side, yeah, front, back, side to side. That was foundational Black Americans. You did. Mexicans were just sitting low to the ground. They didn't have that bounce. They didn't have that swagger. We the ones that added that flavor.
They created lowrider culture with our music. How is that possible? How can you create that bass line is crazy, ain't it? You mean to tell me they created lowrider culture with our music? How is that possible? How can you create a culture with somebody else's music? Music goes in an alignment with a culture, not the other way around. Music reflects the culture. And Brick, they in Atlanta. There wasn't no Mexicans in Atlanta in 76. Zap is from Ohio. Wasn't no Latinos in Ohio in 83. What you say?
No Mexicans in Atlanta. Wasn't no Mexicans in Ohio. Music creates culture. Where did the music come from? Us. We didn't listen to Mexican music, but Mexicans always listened to our music. Mexicans was listening to our music back in the 50s. They're still listening to our music now. We've never been influenced by their music. Never. History proves it. Black folks have always made our own music.
It is like lowrider music from black acts across the country. From LA to New York.
Now, what I don't understand is how come we only got 252 likes? We should have way over 300 plus likes for this live stream right here. We slacking on them likes, man. Bless the like button. Take your finger that's dripping in pork chop grease and hot sauce and hit that like button. It ain't nothing.
The Bay Area, Santa Clara, Georgia Duke.
Woo, that's funk right there. It got that bass line.
What y'all know about that?
Listen to the bass lines. Don't it sound funky? Listen to the bass lines. Don't it sound funky? Honky donkey, D.O. LaFlunky. Listen to that bass line. Don't it sound funky? Hey, homie, that's that funk music. You dig what I'm saying? That George Clinton. You know what I'm saying? That funk music. You can't get away from it. It was dope. That music right there will capture your soul.
Ohio in 83.
Cameo, exactly.
What you saying is
Cameo. Shout out to you. You already know what it is with Cameo. Huh? Music influence culture. Foundational Black Americans, our music has always influenced the culture, not just in America, worldwide. Whoever dominates the music controls the culture. Let me say it again. Whoever dominates the music controls the culture. And that is foundational Black Americans, hands down.
Like lowrider music from black acts across the country. From LA to New York.
Yeah. I just did Berta Bell, man. Hey, shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to Salty for the super chat. You know how, hey man, you know I'm gonna stand on business when it comes to FBA culture, 100%.
They created lowrider culture with our music. How is that possible? How can you create a culture with somebody else's music? Music goes in an alignment with a culture, not the other way around. Music reflects the culture. And Brick, they in Atlanta. There wasn't no Mexicans in Atlanta in 76. Zap is from...
You got Mexicans in Atlanta now, but they don't influence the culture. They assimilate to our culture. The Mexicans in Atlanta want to get gold grills. They want to say, hey, what happened, Charlie? You heard me? So they mimic our culture. Mexicans are newcomers to Atlanta, all over the South. If you go to Atlanta back in the 90s and the 80s, you didn't have no Mexicans in Atlanta. Mexicans started coming to Atlanta like maybe in the early 2000s. They have no history in the city of Atlanta. They have no real history in the South, period. I'm just giving you the facts. Look up Biddy Mason. This is a black woman who owned land in Los Angeles in the 1800s. We've been listen, homie, when it comes to Los Angeles culture, blacks played a major role in founding Los Angeles and building Los Angeles. And I'm gonna show you a video to prove what I'm saying. I'm gonna give you the receipts to show you that a lot of people who built Los Angeles were actually black melanated people. Now let's get back to the content. I gotta say, shout out to my dog, Bobby Yeye from Imperial Vision. He did a good job at breaking a lot of things down about history. So you need to check out Bobby Yeye, Imperial Vision, and check out that live stream that he did last night, breaking down a lot of our history. So that's my brother right there, man. Got love for bro. I'm gonna ride with him 100%. He's articulate, he's intelligent. The brother is well spoken. He's one of the greatest speakers in the FBA community in this YouTube sector. So shout out to Bobby Yeye 100%. Yeah.
Zap is from Ohio. Wasn't no Latinos in Ohio in 80. Music reflects the culture. And Brick, they in Atlanta. Wasn't no Mexicans in Atlanta in 76. Zap is from Ohio. Wasn't no Latinos in Ohio in 83.
No, not at all.
What you're seeing is like lowrider music from black acts across the country. From LA to New York. The Bay Area, Santa Clara, Georgia Duke. What y'all know about that?
What y'all
There's
know
only
about
one
that?
lowrider music. Why is all the lowriding black music? Huh?
Just like
they even got Melba Moore on here.
Hey man, these are classic hits, man. Just like candy, candy. All the hit music, the hit songs come from foundational black Americans. The culture, listen, homie, music influences culture. And who dominates music? Foundational black Americans. That means that we control culture because we dominate what? Music.
Georgia Duke. What y'all know about that? There's only one lowrider music. Why is all the lowriding black music? Huh? They even got Melba Moore on here. It don't get more nigga than Melba Moore. You see that? I'm looking for the Latino influence, even War. And in the interview I have Miss Berta Bell, she talks about one of the members of War coming over to visit her husband, Mr. Charles Redbell, and then 6 months later this came out. See, what happens is because you hear them cowbells you assume War was a Latino group because you hear them cowbells. Don't let the cowbells fool from Compton and Long Beach. And in the interview, she talks about the composer of the song, Charles Miller, coming by to visit her husband before making the song. You're going to get that story in the interview. And we can take it even a step further. We can go to the music videos. We can go to the music video. And before we do that,
music controls culture. I spoke on that in the beginning of the live stream. Whoever controls the music controls the culture. That is a fact. Anybody with common sense knows that.
hold on one second. Yeah. I'm trying to pull this video.
Listen, black people didn't even live around Mexicans in the 50s and the 40s. Los Angeles was segregated. Los Angeles was very segregated during those times. Mexicans didn't start moving to black communities until like the 80s and 90s. But if you go back to the 60s and 70s, Mexicans didn't even live around black people like that. Those are the facts. There was no such thing as social media to where you could go online and copy culture just by watching social media. It wasn't like that back then. In the 50s, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, blacks and Mexicans didn't even live around each other at all.
So let's go to this song right here.
Yo, Big E, man, if you're there, man, why don't you hit the link, man? I would love to pull Big E up. Big E is an OG, so he understand the early days of Compton. So, Big E, man, if you're available to speak, hit the link. I would love to pull you up, my brother, so you can give us some of that Compton history.
To show you how much this is black music and black culture, and a culture that's really out of the West Coast, Southern California to be specific.
Same thing for Scoop. Hey, Scoop, if you're there, Scoop is an OG. So if Scoop is there, if Scoop is available to speak, you know, Scoop is an OG. He can give us some history about the early days of South Central. Because like I said, Mexicans didn't start moving to South Central. They didn't start moving around black people until the 80s and 90s. But in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, black people didn't even live around Mexicans during those times. So it was impossible to steal anything from them. We didn't even live around them. Mexicans was in East LA and Boyle Heights in the 60s and 70s.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
What is that? Cruising down the street in my 6'4". 6'4" Chevy Impala. That song was meant for a group out of New York called HBO. Homeboys Only. But when they heard the lyrics,
make sure that you guys bless the like button. We should have well over 300 people who hit that like button. Let's get it. It's King Supreme delivering straight lace gang with the beautiful content.
Here, to show you how much this is black music and black culture, and a culture that's really out of the West Coast, Southern California to be specific.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
What is that? Cruising down the street in my 6'4". 6'4" Chevy Impala.
Shout out to my man Dewan B in the building, man. Hey, man, Dewan B, I appreciate you for doing this and laying the foundation and giving us this real history. Shout out to my man Dewan B in the building, man. Salute to my man Dewan B.
That song was meant for a group out of New York called HBO, Homeboys Only. But when they heard the lyrics cruising down the street in my 6'4", it didn't resonate with them. So they turned the song down. And that song ended up going to Eazy-E, written by Ice Cube. Because where was Ice Cube raised? Off Van Ness and Imperial. Let me show y'all some intersection right here. What did I say earlier about my dad? I said my dad used to, when they used to low ride, they started off Crenshaw and Imperial. And then they moved throughout the city. Let me show y'all Crenshaw and Imperial. This is Imperial right here. This is Crenshaw. My dad said in the early 70s, all throughout the 70s, this is where the lowriders will all meet up on Sunday in this parking lot right here. It's all kind of got refaced. That Norms is new. But my dad in the mid 70s would meet up in this, the lowriders would meet up here in this parking lot. His lowriding crew. Where was Ice Cube raised? Ice Cube was raised off Van Ness and Imperial. This is where Ice Cube was raised. Right here. This intersection. He was raised on Van Wyck.
I'm gonna bring up Scoop, man. You know, Scoop, man. I appreciate you pulling up, my brother, man. You got the flow. I'm gonna bring up Scoop. Then I got Big E in the building too. Hey, man, I got the OGs in the building. Scoop, where you at, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay, yeah, man. This is memory lane for me. You know what I mean? Growing up in LA, Red, you couldn't halfway find a Mexican back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Back in the late 60s, early 70s, wasn't no Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? We had our own radio station, K-Day, KJLH. You know what I'm saying? We had that Parliament, that not just need the, that, you know what I mean? Once you get the freak with me, you get the freak. We had songs like that, like you said, Cameo. Wasn't no Mexican artist. Where was they at? When you want to play that funk, Mexican artist wasn't something to choose from. That music come from us. That come from our culture. They was not around. When they came around, like you said, they adopted our music, our slang, our style. The only difference now is they completely don't even hide it no more. They cosplaying us to the fullest. They got the braids like us, they women, all of them. They talk just like us. They want to dress just like us. And now all of a sudden you trying to tell me they want to claim the music as theirs? That wasn't their music. Those was our beats. Anybody know the Mexican music ain't hitting like that. It's not something you can rock to. That's not something you can dance to. All the parties they got. You drive by any Mexican neighborhood, when they start playing rap, they playing our music. They got those oldies rap, they playing our music. Those oldies that's funk to us. They've never created funk. So you gotta ask yourself why they listening to that.
Hold on, Scoop. Hold on, Scoop. I'm gonna have you come back up because you echoing real quick. Let me see real quick. Let me see what's going on with this echo. Hold on, Scoop. It's kind of echoing. I'm gonna bring Scoop back up and bring him back down. Big E. I'm gonna bring up Big E.
What's good? Now let's be real. When the Mexicans was over here, I'm gonna take this back to the 80s. See, a lot of you Mexicans that's talking, Y'all wasn't around in the 80s. Y'all were too young to know what time it is. The cars that y'all had bulls and roosters and chickens on the side of them. Y'all didn't have Alpine systems. Y'all wasn't rocking with us like that. You know, especially in the 80s. Number one, it wasn't enough for y'all around. You know what I'm saying? And y'all didn't fool with us. Y'all wasn't in the culture like that. When we had IROCs and convertible 5.0s and 6.4s, the lowriders y'all had were like the Al Capone cars. When y'all started coming around and started getting lowriders, y'all started getting, remember, Red, we used to call them bombs. You know what I'm saying? They used to have those Al Capone, Frank Nitti type cars. They wasn't rolling no 60s, no 6-deuce Chevys, no 6-tray Chevys, no 6.4s, no 6.5. They wasn't doing none of that. Hey, real talk, they had roosters, bruh. You could tell they cars, they had roosters and chickens on the side and tassels all on the dashboard and around the windows. Red, am I lying?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay, they didn't have none of that. When we were young in the 80s, when we were young, you know what I'm saying? We had on Chucks, and what we had on, they had on slacks with tennis shoes or the church shoes with Levi's. That's how they used to dress. You know, these is facts. When Boys in the Hood dropped, they wasn't bumping that. That was all us. All of that was us. Like, again, all of these little young Mexicans trying to tell a dude you wasn't even there. That's my era. I came during all the NWA era. Y'all wasn't really there like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all cars didn't look nothing like that. And everybody didn't have lowriders back then. It was only certain dudes that had lowriders. Everybody else had Regals, them box cutlasses. I had a Monte Carlo. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the car Mustangs, convertible IROCs. That's what we was doing. You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, y'all wasn't on the blocks like that. We was selling the Sherm to y'all. We was watching y'all web sling across the city. Soon as y'all hit that wet, we was watching y'all chase UPS trucks. We was watching y'all howling at the moon. That's what it was. Y'all wasn't like that. Then as soon as you started getting your numbers up, now all of a sudden you started getting black. You know what I'm saying? But in the 80s and early 90s, y'all wasn't out there like that, and you can't say you was. And if you under 40 years old, dude, you can't tell me about what time it was in the 80s. Y'all didn't have no numbers like that. Y'all didn't have none of the plugs. Once y'all got numbers up, that's when y'all started getting the plug, and then everything started coming through Mexico after that. But other than that, y'all wasn't low riding like that. Y'all wasn't doing that. Y'all saw what we was doing. And then guess what? When we left all that alone, we started getting dubs. We started rolling on the big rims. And then guess who started copying that? Now y'all want big rims. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is not hard. If you got some age on you, you know it. Like that crap Sonny was talking about, y'all didn't help create hip hop. If it started off on the East Coast, and it damn sure wasn't no Mexicans on the East Coast back then, how did y'all help create anything? Y'all wasn't there. The Hispanic people on the East Coast were Puerto Ricans or
Dominican.
They were from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time it got to the West Coast, rap was already created. So what did you help create? Y'all wasn't even over here deep like that in the 80s. When you go back, anybody, if you got some age on you, or look at your parents' pictures, go look at old high school yearbooks. That's all you got to do. Go look at high school yearbooks from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, and you're going to see that you're not going to see that many Latinos. You know, y'all keep hollering about this was our land. Okay, well, you need to go tell that to the federal government. The federal government says it's not. Y'all keep telling us what was yours, but the federal government is who you need to be hollering and crying to, not us. We're not telling you none of that. We didn't tell you none of that. We're not kicking you out the country, right? So the more you tell us that this is our land, the more that them white folks is kicking y'all asses out the country. So why are y'all telling us what used to be yours? Apparently, America does not feel that way. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that out on us, but you can't be mad we don't feel sorry for you either. But you know why. Y'all can play dumb, but you know why. Y'all know what y'all racism has done. You know your racism has caused a divide between us, and it really wasn't. It ain't like we was really together, but we was at least decent towards each other. Once y'all started writing NK and, you know, doing a bunch of the stuff that y'all started doing, bro, don't say we was together and people like Red are separating us. All Red is doing is setting the record straight. These are the rules that y'all have been playing with. We didn't know that them were the rules that y'all were playing with. We didn't know that y'all were looking at everything we was doing so y'all could turn around and try to claim it later. We didn't know none of that. But now it's like, oh, well, we helped y'all create hip hop. How? Look at how racist that y'all are towards us today. So how the hell y'all as racist as y'all are, but then y'all trying to tell us that y'all helped us create? If y'all helped us create, that means some of your music we would listen to, right? That way you could say, like, we could say, okay, Mexicans listen to Tupac and all our oldies. Y'all listen, when y'all did come around in them big bombs, y'all was bumping like the Temprees, the Delphonics. Y'all wasn't bumping no old Mexican groups. If it was any around for y'all to bump, y'all wasn't bumping that. Y'all was bumping all black music. We thought y'all were black people rolling down the street till we looked in the car. I mean, for real, Red, you already know that, bro. The Delphonics, the Temprees, the Temptations. If you went to where Mexicans were and they had lowriders, and you listened to them with their music on, you'd have thought them were all black people out there because they were bumping black old groups. You know what I'm saying? We know this. We were there. And what be killing me with you younger ones, y'all act like y'all was there. I was there. I literally was there. You know what I'm saying? And Easy E still came later in the game, though. You get what I'm saying? Y'all wasn't doing none of that. The music that y'all were bumping, it had nothing to do with, it wasn't black. It was y'all cultural music. Then when y'all did finally start hanging out on the block with us, y'all started looking like us. Y'all started talking like us. You started painting your cars like us, unless you was a Paisa. Now, if you was a Paisa, you had them fluorescent orange cars and them goddamn sky blue cars and them bright orange cars, you know, that wake me up before you go shit. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all was listening to all that George Michaels. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all blended in when y'all started becoming thug-like. Now all of a sudden you can't tell your cars from our cars. You know what I'm saying? At first when you were separated, y'all seen y'all was getting laughed at from them chickens and bulls and cows that was painted on y'all cars. Y'all say, oh no, we can't do this. We got to start looking like them niggas. Now, what do y'all gangsters look like? Who do y'all look like? Y'all look like little Crips and Bloods out there, right? Y'all out there on the dead homies, right? When y'all getting ready to fight, y'all call each other nigga this, nigga that, right? Y'all do everything we do now, right? See, that's what I'm saying. We don't do nothing like y'all do. Y'all do everything like we do. Period. I mean, period. You want to sound like us in music? You want to dress like us? You know what I'm saying? So it's like Cass said, when y'all throw Mexican events, you don't see black people there. But when black people throw events, you see just as many Mexicans as you do black people. So how can you not get your influence from us when y'all pack the same places to see us? And I don't care what the group is. I don't care where you are. Musically, who do you sound like? You know why you sound like us? Because white folks ain't gonna buy it. You don't hear white folks bumping Mexican music. You hear them bumping rap music, though. You don't see white people at no Mexican concert, but you see them at black concerts, though. Red, I told you the very first concert I went to was an NWA concert way back in the days. And there was a few Mexicans there, but most of them was suburban white kids. Okay? That's a fact. What made rap big in America is white people jumped on it. That's it. Every concert that I've been to back in the days had white people there. It wasn't no bunch of Mexicans there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it 100. The politicians got into it when they started hearing white kids say that they niggas with attitudes. They saw white kids that wanted jerry curls. It was white kids that was starting to look like us. They wasn't looking like Mr. Roper no more. These is the facts. Like, we don't have, see, y'all act like we gotta lie on y'all, and we don't have to lie on y'all. Y'all are trying to make it seem like y'all was always here, but you wasn't. And if you was, why you don't say that in the white people history books? When you go look at what the white people said, they don't mention y'all at all. When you're talking about the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, they are not talking about y'all because y'all wasn't there. Like, it ain't no need to get mad at us because we telling you we know what the history is. Don't get mad at us because we think y'all sound insane like that dude yesterday talking about, I know black history. Negro, please.
Yeah, that marvelous dude.
How you gonna know black history and you an anchor baby? If your parents wasn't as fast as they was, you wouldn't be here. What are we talking about? So now we not supposed to get offended that people who had to sneak over here in the country are trying to tell us what our history is? Bro, get your ass up out of here with that, bro. Y'all don't even know your own history, because if you knew your own history and knew who helped y'all out of slavery, y'all wouldn't act towards us the way y'all do. But see, y'all been whiteified. You know, even right now with white people throwing y'all out this country right now, y'all got all this anger towards us. We don't have no power, but yet you want us to stamp y'all in hip hop. We don't have no power, yet you want us to stand with y'all in solidarity. Now that that white man who y'all wanted to be like, now that he said mad at us. Every group in this country is mad at us and not the people that's actually throwing their ass out the country. Not the people that got y'all running to pick y'all kids up from school. Not the people running that can't go to work, that got to hide from their job site. Who got y'all doing that, but y'all mad at us? That's right, Scoop. We was at the Compton swap meet every weekend. Gold on the roll, a fresh polo t-shirt, a fresh pair of khakis, a fresh fake-ass snakeskin belt, some fresh blue feelers with the blue string in them, or some fresh K-Swiss, you heard what I'm saying, or a fresh LA Dodgers hat, or a fresh Giants hat, the black or the dark blue Cascade jacket, you heard what I'm saying, and pull around to the back to get your speakers hooked up, or get the latest tape. Bro, when the Cabbage Patch dance dropped, nigga, I was in the back of the swap meet bumping that. You heard what I'm saying? King T used to be at the swap meet all the time. Y'all wasn't there. And you're not going to tell me, because I was there. I grew up in Compton, born and raised. So you can't tell me that y'all was there. Y'all didn't start coming until like the mid to late 90s. That's when y'all started coming. Yeah, and back when we was young, yeah, the gangsters used to wear the golf hat. Yeah, that golf hat with the Stacey Adams, with the windbreaker. You get what I'm saying? They used to have the net, used to have the fish nets on top of their heads. You know what I'm saying? With the net, with the golf hat. You know what I'm saying? That's what that was. Y'all wasn't there, bro. Don't get mad at us because our history is what it is. Y'all keep hollering this lowrider, bro. We didn't give a damn about lowriders. The ones that had lowriders were normally older dudes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all wasn't around like that. And like I said, the lowriders that y'all did have, y'all bought from Al Capone. You know what I'm saying? These is facts. Ain't no need in getting mad, but you can't tell us what our history is. You can't tell me what I saw in Compton. You can't tell me what I lived through in Compton. You wasn't there. It's that simple. You was not there. And if you think I'm lying, go ask the white folks. Do y'all know? Look, do y'all notice when these conversations come up, white people don't even say, "Oh yeah, they were here." Oh yeah, no, you wasn't. You wasn't here. That's the bottom line to that. And again, if you don't know what Sonny, which maybe Sonny used to smoke younger, I don't know. But if y'all under 40 years old, y'all can't tell us what was going on over here when y'all peoples wasn't even here. Like, why the hell we gonna be listening to people that wasn't here? Why are we gonna be listening to people that gotta hide? You get what I'm saying? Why are we listening to people? Why do we have to listen to people who is begging us to march with them so they can stay over here? What kind of sense do that make? If you begging to stay here now, what make you think you was here then? What make you think you had numbers then? You didn't have no numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's just that y'all wasn't nobody tripping y'all. We didn't know that the Democratic Party was going to play us like some suckers. We didn't know that y'all were going to stab us in the back, so we wasn't really tripping. Had we the knew y'all was playing the game that y'all was playing, we would have never stood up for civil rights for everybody. Now that we see what everybody talking about, just it seems like y'all are mad because y'all can't use us like y'all were. You know what I'm saying? Now that the cat is out the bag and we see everybody for what they are, now y'all are just openly and blatantly racist. Period. You know what I'm saying? And y'all use the same playbook. Like yesterday, dude was trying to say, "Oh no, y'all trying to put it on the whole group," but that was that one guy. Yeah, but that one guy sound like everybody else. If y'all all sound the same, why wouldn't we think it's y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all of you. All of you had, every time it's a new content creator or somebody come to the internet with whatever their gripe is with black people, because I don't understand how y'all barely even be around black people but got all this animosity towards black people and y'all don't even be around black people. But okay. But y'all are really young, and y'all are really young thinking you could tell us what our history is, especially in America. Bro, more than likely, you're an anchor baby. You know what I'm saying? You only going off what your people might have told you, and your peoples is lying. Mentiroso. So now that we telling y'all, no, champ, all that crap y'all talking, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Don't get mad at us for correcting your BS. Don't get mad at us for telling you what our history is. Don't get mad at us for saying, no, you wasn't there in Selma. No, you wasn't there even at the Rodney King riots. Yeah, you was helping yourself to them stores, but y'all wasn't standing in solidarity with us. Why are y'all even lying about that? See what I'm saying? It's like y'all are mad. It's like y'all are mad because we're not stamping the lie y'all trying to tell. You know what I'm saying? No, you need to come to my channel. I'm teaching you I could teach you your history. Man, get your ass out of here, bro.
And the
You
dude who
sound
said that,
insane.
his community don't want him because he's in his 40s. He impregnated a 16-year-old girl, so he from East LA, Matavia. I know you heard of the Matavia in East LA, how, but yeah, they don't want him, man, because they law he a tomo. He impregnated a 16-year-old female. She came to his house to get a tattoo. He claimed she gave him a fake ID. He gave her a tattoo. He hid it raw. He impregnated her. She was only 16. Oh, well, she had a fake ID. I didn't know. That's what he said.
See, it's always an excuse, bro. It's always an excuse. But you trying to tell us, you 40 years old, and you trying to tell us what our history in America is. Oh, we were both in captivity. Nigga, all you got to do is ask your grandparents. Was any of them around? They'll tell you hell no.
When Viral Way Podcast said, hey, no, this is not both of our stories. He said, no, hip hop, we did it together. You can't claim hip hop as Black Americans can't claim hip hop for themselves. We did it together. We were both enslaved and we're still slaves now. I said, wow. They just
go ahead with that, bro. We ain't buying that. Ain't no together. We was together. We were never together. Like, why are you getting mad? Like, why are y'all getting so mad at us for stating the obvious? I mean, again, when we said, well, how come y'all take the Aryan side when we go to jail? The only thing y'all said is nobody bigger than the program. So that means the program is anti-Black racism. What the hell you talking about? It's just like I told you, Red. When Trump first got elected and all of them riots was going on in Compton, if we'd have been out there standing with them, as soon as we went to jail, them same people that you would have been out there protesting for, they'd have turned their back on you. These is facts. And then they be in here trying to tell us, oh, it ain't like that. Okay, first of all, Black men, if we don't know nothing else, we know how it work in jail. Okay? You cannot sit here on Red Live and tell us that y'all are not honorary Aryans when we get to jail. You cannot sit up here and say you looking for solidarity when we get to jail. Okay? You immediately team up with the people that's throwing your asses out of here. And yet you got the goddamn nerve, the cojones, to try to tell us what we did together. Oh, we both were in captivity. We both had the same struggle. Nigga, shut up. Soon as you get to jail, nigga, you want to team up with the cat that you said put you in captivity. How the hell do that sound? Why would we want to fight with you? Why would we want to stand with you when you literally are going to go stab us in the back? Because you joined forces with them. So what you mean we together? We told our story. No, you're a goddamn liar. That's what you are. You a hustler. You want to play both sides of I mean, we can make our money with these black dudes, but we really want to be white. Same mind. Didn't y'all LULAC leaders fight for y'all to be white? Didn't your LULAC leaders say y'all don't care about the plight of the black man? Okay, so what are you talking? Since that's what you're it, why are we gonna be worrying about what y'all talking about? Why would we stamp anything with y'all? We already see how y'all get. Soon as y'all come over here, no more money for a Jew. You remember? Soon as y'all come over here, y'all want to shit on black people. And then y'all got the nerve to turn around today and be making videos talking about where are all the black people? What the hell you mean? Apparently y'all didn't want us with y'all anyway. How the hell our struggle is y'all? We didn't have to go migrate nowhere. It ain't so bad where look, for as bad as it was over here for us, y'all ain't seen us in mass trying to go to none of y'all countries. For as bad as it was, after we come out of chattel slavery, black people wasn't looking to go to Mexico en masse or Dominican or Puerto Rico. We wasn't looking to go nowhere but fight our fight right here. But guess what y'all did and have been doing? Y'all ain't got nobody left in y'all country because all y'all asses is over here. Who left? I've never seen so many different groups of people so proud of places that y'all are crying to not go back to. We are watching everybody crying, breaking down on their knees, swaying up and down. Oh no, hell no. You want asylum? Oh, I'm scared. Oh, this. Wait a minute. I thought you were so proud to be from there. What happened?
They're gonna horn me in my country. They're gonna horn me in my family if I go back to my country.
Yeah, but you worrying about us though. But you coming over here talking about us. You know what I'm saying? You scared. All of y'all are scared to go back. I don't care what group it is. They've been showing videos when y'all getting caught. Y'all crying. Y'all breaking down on y'all knees.
But waving the flag. But this is the thing, though. Okay, why are you crying about going to the country that you claim to love so much? I mean, you wave a foreign flag in this country, but when they send you back to the country that you claim to love so much, you crying about it.
Yeah, now you crying, but then it's our fault though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can make the videos about us the way that y'all do, and then when we start talking shit back, you know, just like yesterday, oh boy, man, y'all really don't want a war. Nigga, who talking about war? Oh, so you mean to tell me that us telling you the truth kicks you in your ass so bad that you ready to go to war? What is that gonna do? Change the facts or something? What is that gonna change the truth? You want to go to war for what? You ain't talking about going to war with the people that's throwing your asses out the country. You ain't talking about going to war with ICE. When ICE come to your neighborhood, what you doing? You running your ass away, right? So what the hell you talking to us for? Why you telling us about a war? And nigga, while ICE is operating, y'all need to understand your numbers ain't what they was. Y'all ducking and running and hiding now. A lot of places where it used to be a lot of y'all, it ain't none of y'all no more. So you know what I'm saying, bro? Yo, the people that you should be warring with, guess what they doing to you? It ain't got nothing to do with us. It ain't got a damn thing to do with us. Y'all just mad because we ain't fooling with y'all no more like that. Y'all hand been blown. Now everybody gotta fight their own battles. And what y'all doing? Y'all still making videos about us. Y'all still out here hollering about who helped create hip hop. That shit is a dead issue. Your own peoples even said it. Everybody, even in Puerto Ricans who said that it was 50-50, nah, we pulled up them receipts of them saying, nah, black people did that. You remember I can't even think of the dude's name. He wanted to fight Lord Jamar because Lord Jamar played the video.
Crazy Legs.
He said,
Crazy Legs. And
yeah.
We got videos of Crazy Legs saying, hey, you know, hip hop, that was that Moreno style. We got videos of him admitting that. But then all of a sudden, when hip hop gets to his 50th anniversary, he want to change the story as if we don't have the receipt. So what he said before.
Right. Now all of a sudden, it's a whole different ball game. Now, even though you already said it, now it's oh yeah, I want to fight Lord Jamar. Why? Because he played what you said? You want to fight him because he played what all of y'all said? All of y'all said that it was a black creation. What changed? What happened today? What? Why is it now that you want to get? No, that was Moreno. Okay, y'all said it. Y'all said it. You admitted it already. Why are we even still arguing?
DJ Charlie Chase, the first Puerto Rican DJ, one of the first ones, he said, I had to change my name to DJ Charlie Chase because what he said at first he had a Latino name and that wouldn't be embracing hip hop. So he changed his name to sound more urban to blend in with the black culture. He said it himself. Be like, nah. And remember Dr. Cologne Homeboy. The dude name was I did a video. He said, no, Dr. Cologne. Black Americans, African Americans started hip hop. We participated in it, but don't get it twisted. Our African American brothers are the ones who created hip hop. And this was a Puerto Rican dude that Dr. Cologne was cool with. He corrected Dr. Cologne on his own podcast.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Now this is y'all. This is what y'all people said. Without us, none of that. Like I said, Mexicans, y'all wasn't even in the conversation. Y'all had no idea what rap music was what even was in 1979. 1978. It wasn't enough for y'all over here. Them is facts. But y'all mad at us for saying, nah, we ain't standing with y'all. You mad at us for saying, but y'all are anti-black. Y'all mad at us for saying y'all stand with white people in jail. You really do. You mad at us for saying your politics is white. Y'all stand with white people in your politics because you fought to be white. I guarantee you, the majority of y'all, if you looked at y'all parents' citizenship papers, I bet you they say white.
Exactly.
I bet you when they check y'all in school, they probably got y'all checked off as white.
Yep.
So y'all wanted to be white, but y'all mad at black people because they don't want to accept you for being white. Y'all use the smallest shit to always feel like you gotta have beef with black people. But guess what? Kissing all that white ass got y'all what? A one-way ticket out the country, right? Right. See what I'm saying? When we could have been cool, y'all didn't want to be cool because y'all had the Democratic Party behind. Y'all was getting all of the SNAP benefits and y'all was getting everything that we should have been getting. So it's like, nah, F you niggas. We bold enough to write nigga killer on the wall now. We bold enough to say, nah, we marching against reparations. We supposed to be in solidarity today because you getting kicked out of here, but when we was putting our reparations together, ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Y'all want to march heavy against it. But yet you want to turn around and sit up here and be mad and act like we we tripping because we actually understand that there is no solidarity with y'all. Y'all are backstabbing opportunists, and we understand that now. You know what I'm saying? We actually get that now. And people are moving accordingly. Like, no, all y'all fight y'all own battles. That's all we asking. Y'all ain't heard nobody saying, oh, we ready to go to war and all this BS that y'all talking about. You understand? Ain't nobody thinking about no goddamn war. But y'all can't be mad at us for saying that we not fooling with y'all, though. Not on that level. And we ain't talking about the couple of personal relationships with people that we know of. Because we all know some cool Mexicans. But politically, y'all are racist as hell when it comes to it politically overall. And you not finna convince nobody black, nobody, that if Donald Trump was deporting us, y'all would be sitting up laughing at us and be talking the same crap that we talking. And you know it. Y'all don't give us no pass with nothing. We couldn't even throw a pop-out concert without y'all getting mad. We can't do nothing without y'all feeling like, you know what I'm saying, y'all got to bring us into it. Something as simple as even when your rapper, when he sold like 7 albums, oh, but when Ice Cube he's not a gangster, but y'all like Ice Cube, but y'all didn't like that because he's Mexican. Nigga, shut up. Your music is trash. Nigga, you can't make us like you, nigga.
Well,
you can't make us like that.
Hey, Biggie, you did your thing. Hey, we gonna cook Dusty Vision TV next. You know Dusty Vision TV. I did some content on him. He defended Lucky from Hoodstocks, the dude that called us African booty scratchers. Dusty Vision TV is a black man, but he got a Mexican wife. He said blacks are being sensitive about that, but he called Munchie B a racist for responding to Lucky. So, okay, so Munchie B is a racist for responding to Lucky, but you call us sensitive for saying what we had to say about Lucky. I'm going to cook Dusty Vision TV. Because
yeah, but it be a trip though, Red. Like they really feel like they could call. I guarantee you, if we was all in this chat saying that they some Mexican hat dancers, the whole Latino community would be out here shitting cactus needles.
That's a big old fact right there.
You get what I'm saying? It's like y'all say stuff and then want to downplay it, right? But as soon as we say, well, okay, then what's up with y'all donkey riders wanting to jump all up in our culture? Oh, you racist. Oh, you racist. But y'all always got a name for us, though. Like, we got names, too. But look at how y'all act when we start talking like y'all do, though. Like, we got names, bruh. We could do that. The difference between us and y'all act like little girls and shit when we start talking about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all start acting like little girl. Look at, we was talking about hip hop and you had a fool ready to go to war. What are you ready to go to war for?
He can't.
What are you ready to go to war for because we said you didn't help create no hip hop? Even if we did go to war, that won't change nothing. You still didn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. You still did it. And the crazy thing about this is about this. This is the crazy thing. Look at the music that Latinos created in this country. It's never had an urban influence. So we created jazz, rock and roll, the blues, funk music, R&B, Motown, and the list goes on. So we created all this music, but we needed some Latinos to help us create hip hop. That is bogus. It doesn't even make sense. And like I said, they've never created music that influenced urban culture. You've never seen black people riding around listening to Latino music because their music don't influence the world. So it's ludicrous that they would even try to run with that.
Bruh, your parents, nor did your grandparents listen to that, right? So if we was listening to the music that our parents listened to, where did their influence come from? When I started hearing actual Mexican cultural music, that shit was hot garbage.
We would say, hey, man, turn that off. When they play that music, hey, that's the first thing we would say, hey, man. And listen, I got to say this to the Mexican Latino community. When you guys came outside playing that music that your parents listen to, we would say, damn, turn that off. Now, when we came outside bumping Marvin Gaye, Al Green, the Isley Brothers, and the Commodores and Cameo, everybody rocked with it. Everybody, the whole world embraced the music that we create. We ain't never listened to no music from Latinos. We never listened to their music. And like I said earlier, music influences culture. Come on, bro. And who dominates?
Like y'all, they ain't had no Anita Baker. They ain't had no Shaka Khan. You know what I'm saying? They ain't had no women that was singing. They ain't had no Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like we talking about even before rap was real heavy like that. It was all about the R&B singer. They don't have no Keith Sweat. They don't have no Bobby Brown. They don't have no O'Brien. They don't have no Luther Vandross. They didn't have no Harold Melvin and the Blue Note. That's why y'all had to play our music in your lowriders. Let's keep that 100. White people was not listening to your music. That's why it wasn't selling. Black people, rap was created in the ghetto for black people. White people heard it and ain't been the same. Okay? White people heard your music and said, nah, we just need y'all to come work for us. That's all. We don't y'all can go and keep y'all entertainment. Y'all can keep that shit. Yeah. We hear you.
We got blacks to entertain us ever since the early, ever since the beginning, the inception of this country. Whites have always used us for entertainment. They never used the Mexicans for entertainment. They said, okay, we can't work black people on the slave plantations no more. We'll just use Mexicans for cheap labor now. That's exactly
Bro,
what happened, man. Let's be real.
that's a fact, bro. Look, okay, Red, look, to prove that, once again, video receipts. When you go look at them Ed Sullivan shows, them old Ed Sullivan shows, who did they have? Young Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. They had groups like that. When you go look at Johnny Carson, Dick Clark, them was old black groups that they had up there. You know what I'm saying? And if you old enough, if y'all were co-creators, why wasn't never none of y'all on Soul Train? Bro, you know Soul Train and Showtime at the Apollo, that means you made it. Right? Whoever was popping was going on Soul Train. Whoever was popping was going to be on Showtime at the Apollo. Where was any of y'all at? Where was your influence at? Since y'all are co-creators, where the hell was y'all at during that time? Show us the music that sounds like anything y'all create today. You know what I'm saying, Red? You remember when the Soul Train line was popping, they would have a board, you had to unscramble the names. Then the people would come running down, dancing down the Soul Train line. Them was all black people. Where was y'all at? We talking about in the 70s and 80s. Where was you at? Y'all wasn't even on American Bandstand. They rather had the white boys. Boy George was bigger than any of your artists. Where was y'all at when he was doing the Common Chameleon? Where was y'all at? Y'all wasn't on none of that stuff. If you co-created, your influence would have been there. They'd have been giving you props. But instead, you got goofies like Fat Joe, had to bitch, moan, and cry his way in there. He needed black people to get in there, else he couldn't make a hit to save his life. And now look at him. This nigga can't even sell a goddamn concert out at SeaWorld. Nigga, you had people more interested in the killer whales than your whack ass. Nigga, they was walking out from you when you at SeaWorld, nigga. Where y'all at? So that go to show you, y'all don't get, without us, y'all ain't nothing. Without us, y'all get no motion. If y'all ain't on, look, Lefty needed Kendrick, right? And even once he got on with Kendrick, he still ain't did nothing.
Because ain't nobody gonna buy
That
his
should
book.
tell y'all right there.
Ain't nobody gonna buy that. But listen, man, we gonna wrap this one up. I'm finna go in another 10 minutes, man. We finna get on this Dusty Vision. Dusty Vision is from LA, and he cakes for the community. Now he said Lucky from Hood Stocks was just joking, and blacks are too emotional and sensitive. We had no reason to be outraged about what Lucky said about African booty scratchers. But when Munchie B responded to that, then he made a video saying racist YouTuber Munchie B, but he had no smoke for the Mexican who disrespected us, or the guy who's at least from a Mexican gang, because they keep saying he ain't raza. Well, he runs with the Southsiders. He might as well be a Mexican. Seriously.
And he has the same talking points
Exactly
as all of them. So ain't nobody trying to hear that. But it's cool, Red, because I just was on my lunch break. I had to come out and cook for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But
good job, man.
I'm just saying, you older Mexicans need to stop lying to these younger ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, y'all need to stop lying to these younger ones like y'all was there, bro. They used y'all for your labor. That's it. Whatever you say you invented, they told you to take it back home. They didn't want it. They already had all our shit. Other than your labor. Because that's all what we seeing right now, that all this labor that they was getting out of y'all and the kickbacks they was getting. Nobody's jacking nobody's buying what y'all selling. And now that they don't want y'all labor no more, don't get mad at us because we're the actual citizens. Don't get mad at us because they said y'all gotta go, not us. And I'm gonna go ahead and land with that, Red. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Eat your veggies, drink your water, and by all means, keep winning.
Shout out to Big E, man, for sliding on through, man. I appreciate that. Man, shout out to everybody that blessed the Cash App. Shout out to everybody for supporting the show. We gonna cook Dusty Vision TV next, man. Dusty Vision TV defended the Mexican dude who called us an African booty scratcher. He defended it, right? But he called Munchie B a racist for saying that essays had little peepees. Now, I don't know why Munchie B would talk about somebody's peepees. I could care less about that. But he called Munchie B a racist, but he gave the Mexican guy who called us African booty scratchers, he gave him a pass and said that blacks were just being emotional and way too sensitive. Dusty Vision TV is a clown. This dude got 40,000 plus subscribers and he can only get 200 views per video. Imagine you having 40,000 plus subscribers and you can only get 200 views per video. Dusty, listen, homie, Dusty Vision TV is begging Mexicans for acceptance. When Mexicans are begging for us, they're begging us for acceptance, looking for us to embrace them and our culture. See, what Mexicans really want to do, they wish that their music was so popular that they can do hip hop without needing our approval. So they want to overthrow us in our own culture. Mexicans want to overthrow us in our own culture. That's really what they want to do. But Dusty TV is begging Mexicans for acceptance. I roasted this dude a few times already. I promise you, I roasted this dude a few times already. He is a poor excuse for a black man. And I'm going to roast him in another 5 minutes. So guess what? We're going to shut this show down and tap in with us in another 5 minutes. At 10:45 a.m., we got another show, and we going back to back with the content. Make sure that you guys hit the like button. And oh, yeah, hype the video, hype the live stream. That means a whole lot with the content. Shout out to Mo Better for the super chat. I appreciate you, Mo Better. Shout out to Salty for the super chat. Shout out to Mo Better for the super chat. Shout out to everybody for rocking with the content in a major way. I stand for FBA people 100%. Listen, homie, I'm going to speak out every chance I get to protect our culture. I'm going to speak out every chance I get to represent our culture. It's FBA or nothing. Roll with it to get rolled on. Peace, love, and blessings. I'm gone. Tap in with me in another 5 minutes.